Hello everyone. Today we have 3 spine-chilling stories about creepy roommates that will make you think twice before sharing your space with a stranger. Imagine this. You're lying in bed, trying to fall asleep, when you hear a strange noise coming from the other side of your room. You open your eyes and there, standing in the doorway, is your roommate, watching you. Or how about this? You come home from work to find your apartment door unlocked. You know you locked it, but somehow it's open. You step inside cautiously, calling out for your roommate, but there's no answer. Suddenly, you hear a noise coming from the attic. These are the kinds of stories we'll be exploring tonight. Stories that will send chills down your spine and leave you feeling uneasy long after the video is over. So turn off the lights, grab a blanket, and get ready to dive into the dark side of roommate horror. Our first story comes from a terrified Reddit user who, after weeks of feeling uneasy, discovered the horrifying truth about their roommate. The user, who we'll call Sarah, had recently moved into a new apartment with a roommate she found online. At first, everything seemed normal. Her roommate, let's call her Emily, was friendly enough. But after a while, Sarah started to get this unsettling feeling that something wasn't right. She'd wake up in the middle of the night and feel like someone was watching her. She brushed it off as paranoia, but the feeling persisted. One night, Sarah woke up suddenly. The room was dark, but she could sense someone standing in the doorway. Her heart pounded in her chest as she slowly turned to face the figure. In the faint glow of the streetlights outside, she could just make out the outline of Emily, her eyes wide and unblinking. Emily just stood there, staring at Sarah, her body completely still. Sarah was frozen in fear, unsure of what to do. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Emily silently turned and walked back into her own room. In our second story, a Reddit user named Mark had a truly terrifying experience with an unwelcome guest. Mark lived in an old house that had a small, unfinished attic. He never went up there, as it was dusty and filled with cobwebs. One day, Mark came home from work and noticed that the attic door, which was usually left closed, was slightly ajar. He found it odd, but figured he must have just forgotten to close it. He pushed the door open the rest of the way and was about to head back downstairs when he noticed something strange. There were footprints in the dust on the attic floor. Fresh footprints. Mark lived alone and hadn't been up there in months. He felt a chill run down his spine. He cautiously made his way through the attic, his heart pounding in his chest. As he reached the far end of the attic, he noticed a small pile of blankets and pillows hidden in the corner. Someone had been sleeping up there. Mark was horrified. He raced downstairs and out of the house, his mind racing. He called the police, who searched the attic but found no sign of an intruder. That night, Mark lay awake in his bed, too terrified to sleep. He kept hearing noises coming from the attic, soft footsteps and the rustling of blankets. He knew someone was up there, watching him, waiting for him to fall asleep. Our final story is about a Reddit user named Jessica who uncovered a chilling secret about her seemingly normal roommate, David. At first, David seemed like the perfect roommate. He was quiet, kept to himself, and always paid his rent on time. But over time, Jessica started to notice strange things about David. He never seemed to sleep, and she'd often catch him staring at her with an unsettling intensity in his eyes. One day, Jessica stumbled upon a box of old newspaper clippings hidden in the back of David's closet. Curiosity got the better of her, and she began to read. The clippings told a horrifying story. David had been a suspect in a missing persons case several years earlier. His girlfriend had vanished without a trace, and although David was never charged, suspicion had followed him ever since. Jessica's blood ran cold as she realized she was living with a potential killer. She tried to act normal, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was in danger. One night, Jessica woke to find David standing over her bed, a sinister look on his face. He was holding a pair of scissors in his hand, the metal glinting in the moonlight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more creepy content. And remember, always be careful who you share your home with. You never know what secrets they might be hiding just beneath the surface. Sweet dreams.